If you like your cars to be bigger and better than everything else on the road, they don't come much bigger than this. Let's find out if it's better. This is the Hyundai IONIQ 9. And as you can see, it's got massive proportions. It's just over 5 meters long, it's about 2 meters wide, it's 1.8 meters tall, and it's big and slab-sided and rather sort of brutalist in its architecture. We've got these LED cubic lights which flood around the outside here. We've got more lights here than Blackpool illuminations. We've got this sort of cube design repeated all across the front here grille. That doesn't glow, by the way, that's just a design line to tie it with the headlights. We've got down here active flaps which open and close to give you more air or more cooling depending what you need for the situation. We've got a large panel here which has got all your sensors in for the safety kit. We've got a camera base down here. There's other camera based up on the top of the windscreen as well. Moving around the car, it is big. It's got 20-inch alloy wheels with 275/50 R20 tyres on it. They're Kuma Extra EV tyres, so they're designed specifically for low rolling resistance, get more range on the car. It's got quite decent ground clearance on this, but as standard it's actually just rear wheel drive. There is a performance version which you can get which is all wheel drive. These large pop out door handles which say IONIQ 9 embossed on the top of both of them. Privacy glass is standard. Roof bars, we've got sort of chrome strip which runs around the back here, sort of stainless steel which looks quite nice, sort of brushed alloy look. Ties in nicely with the roof bars up there. Moving around the back end, we've got this sort of horseshoe of lights which run all the way around here. Your brake lights up top down here. It's quite a flat back end. It reminds me a lot of an old Volvo estate, and that's one of the benefits of this vehicle, is that it has such a square boxy shape that you actually get loads of interior space. There is a rear wiper hidden up there, by the way. Got a couple of cameras in here. If we press the button here, the tailgate opens, and inside we've got, with all 7 seats up, we've got 338 litres of boot space. In fact, there's a bit of storage under here as well for you to put things. Now there's buttons at the back here. We can, at the flick of a switch, fold down all of the seats, and with them all out of the way, it goes up to over 2,400 litres of boot space. And it's like van-like. Look at that, you could easily fit like a massive wardrobe or a double bed or anything in there. In fact, you could go camping in this easily. And we've got a moonroof. We've got a big panoramic roof, stargaze through it. How wonderful is this? Seriously, don't need to buy a caravan with this, just sleep in the car. So it's big on the outside. How is it on the inside? Well, it's equally capacious. We've got loads of space up front. The steering wheel is electrically adjustable, both up, down, in, out, which is good to see. We've got these 2 large 12+inch screens in front, which sort of curve round towards the driver, which is quite nice. And we've got this silvery finish on here, but then contrasted with some wood-like texture there, which is very nice, and some ambient lighting, which is lights inside the doors here and along the bottom of the dashboard. So that looks quite nice. We've got these 4 lights which actually change colour as you change the driving modes. The drive mode selector is down here. We've got drive, eco, normal, sport or my drive. We've got a terrain response mode. If we press this button down, we've got a choice of snow, mud or sand. The start stop button is down on this stalk here. We've got the drive mode selector here as well. We do have actual touch buttons for things like climate control, which is good to see. So your heated seat buttons, your ventilated seats, your air conditioning accessories, all controlled off actual dials and buttons, well, the haptic controls. So the steering wheel is heated. The seats are heated and ventilated. We've got a massage function on the seats as well. We've got 3 settings of pelvic, lumbar, whole body. We've got a heads-up display, which shows you your speed and your distance to the car in front, shows you the speed limit. Also can mirror your sat-nav instructions from not only the built-in navigation, but also for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So if you're using Google Maps or Waze as your route planner, then that can go up on the heads-up display as well. On this large display in front of us, we've got our trip meter, we've got our speed, we've got a range shown as well. And quite useful here, it shows not only the predicted mileage range you've got at the moment, but it's showing a minimum and a maximum. It's saying if you drove really carefully, turned off the climate control, you know, drove really eco, you could get up to 405 miles. If you were to absolutely hoon it in sports mode, it's now saying 191 miles. But I like all the things that you touch. It all feels very nice. Centre console wise, well, we've got 2 large cup holders here. We've got a wireless phone charging pad, 3 USB-Cs, 2 of which are rated to 100 watts, which is, you know, enough to charge an actual laptop off. It's not just, you know, for charging a mobile phone. We've got a shelf here, which is quite large space. But actually, there's this drawer under here as well, which furthermore, you can fit quite a lot in there. You can fit a drone in there. Rear view mirror, it does look a long way back to, and if you've got a lot of people sat in the car, their heads are going to block the view. So if you click this, it becomes a digital mirror. We've got a panoramic roof on this, which actually opens. Under here goes down a decent level, and we've got like a little tray in there. And take that out of the way, it goes all the way down, about 5 litres of storage in there, which is massive. You can get it from the back as well, so if you're in the rear seats, you can flick it up that way, and they can get in. Or, there's a hatch underneath, you can get to the lower storage through that way as well. So you can have a bag of sweets and share it with everyone in the car. These seats as well have got full relaxation mode, so a press of a button, it lies back, moves the steering wheel out of the way, etc., and makes it so that you can have a nap whilst you're charging. The passenger seat does the same. Leg rest on this as well. You get a leather type fabric as standard on the Ultimate spec. And actually on the driver's seat, you can adjust not only the bolstering, you can actually cinch you in slightly. So if you have a narrower frame or a wider frame, you can adjust it to hold you in the amount that you want. Bose sound system on this Ultimate spec as well. But overall, yeah, really comfortable seating for the driver and passenger. In the back seats, definitely not second class citizens back here. We've still got heated and ventilated outer seats in the middle row. We've got separate climate controls, vents that blow down on us here, so we can set that to our own temperature, which is nice with full air conditioning. We've got blinds built in, which is good when you've got smaller children in the back. Again, 100-watt USB-C chargers built into the back of both of the front seats. As I said before, we can get under the armrest to front here, or down this hole here. It goes underneath that plastic tray that sits inside there. An armrest that folds down with a couple of cup holders. This is also available as a 6-seater. For an extra £1,000, you can choose to have 2 captain's chairs and have a walkway through here, if that's something you want. But it's all very nice. And this seat is set for me as a driver. I'm 5'11". This is me with plenty of legroom, but actually this chair can go all the way back, and so can that one. And we've got loads of legroom. So if you haven't got anyone in the boot seats, you could have loads and loads of space here. But if you've got people in the back and you want to share the legroom out a bit, I've still got loads of space here, more than I'd have in most other cars. And there'll be still loads in the back. In fact, let's check out the third row and see what it's like for them. So to get in the back, you just press the button on the top of the seat here. That flicks up out of the way. Seat down. Now that's actually a bit close for me, is that I need to slide the seat forward a bit. But once that's been done and the seat's been set, we've actually got quite a bit of legroom back here. The seats, your feet can fit underneath them, which is nice. So even my size 10s fit all the way under there. And my knees aren't touching. And even if I sit bolt upright, I've got a couple of inches, 2.5 inches of headroom. So that's good. Again, we've got air conditioning and vents back here. We've got a 100-watt charger at the back here. There's so many power. Another one there, so another 100-watt charger. We've got 2 cup holders at the back here. One at this side, a little tray. Speakers back here, speakers further back. And you've also got the ability to recline these seats. That's quite nice. So if you're in the third row and you want to have a little nap, you can actually recline this seat back quite a distance, as you'll see from compared to the seat there. Yeah, this is a lot nicer than it used to be in the old Zafira days. It feels quite plush, and you're not touching the rear glass. You know, there's a decent distance between you and the back of the car. So you feel safe as well, which is really important. Under the bonnet, we've got quite a decent size frunk area here. We've actually got 88 litres. We've got the rear wheel drive version. If you get the all wheel drive, it cuts it down to about 55 litres, but still, decent amount of storage we can put in here. So you could fit an overnight bag in there, even like a cabin bag. Not big enough to sleep in though. If you need to be able to tow, then the IONIQ 9 has got you covered. As a rear wheel drive car, it can tow up to 1.5 tonnes. If you go for the all wheel drive version, that goes up to 2.5 tonnes. So enough for a big caravan or even maybe a horse box or something. So under the charging flap here, we've got a Type 2 socket, which does 7 kilowatt and 11 kilowatt AC charging. We've got a CCS socket, which gives access to 233 kilowatts peak DC charging. We've also got an adapter plugs in here. We can give this vehicle to load. That'll do it to 3.6 kilowatts, which is 16 amps constant. Now this is a 110 kilowatt hour battery. That's enough to run the average 3-bed house for about a week. So it's not going to have any problem at all if you decide to go camping with a little mini fridge or whatever. It's the 4 dots motif. You'll have seen that all around the car, including on the back of the seats here. And here, 4 dots is Morse code for H. H for Hyundai. So what's it like driving something that's 2 metres wide and 5 metres long around narrow country roads? Well, actually it's quite easy to place. It's got very square, vertical almost, panels all around. So front end you can sort of see exactly where the bonnet ends. You've got a good idea of where the back of it is. Your mirrors are on the extremities. You've got quite a good feeling of space and size. So it's soaking up the bumps on this quite rough road very well actually. These are the 20-inch wheels on here. So if you go for the calligraphy trim, you get 21-inch wheels. If you go for the premium trim, you get 19-inch wheels, which is the entry level. This is the 20, middle of the range, and actually it soaks up the bumps really, really well. Ever so slight road noise coming through, but this is quite a rough surface. In my IONIQ 5, I think this would be causing a lot more vibration than it is in here. All around the cabin, we've got these little noise cancelling microphones. So basically, any vibrations that are picked up in the cabin, any sort of external noises, it uses the Bose sound system to do noise cancelling. So a bit like when you put noise cancelling headphones in, it just helps to reduce the amount of noise coming through. All of the IONIQ 9 that are for sale in the UK come with the same 110 kilowatt hour battery. It's around 106 kilowatt hours usable space in there. Depending which specification level affects the amount of power that you've got, and also whether it's rear wheel drive or all wheel drive. If you go for the premium entry level model, that's got 218 brake horsepower that does 0 to 60 in about 9.5 seconds. And I'll get the furthest range, that'll get around 385 miles of range. If you go to the ultimate specification, which is what this is, you've got the opportunity to go for an all-wheel drive drivetrain. It's about 318 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 is just around 6.7. If you go to the calligraphy version, which is the ultra top of the range, you'll have the option to go for the performance powertrain. And if you do that, you get 427 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. Now, I think actually that's probably overkill for something like this. But for most people, I suspect that having the ability to do the longer range will be more useful. And so, yeah, I think that going for the rear-wheel drive version probably makes perfect sense for most people. So pretty standard for most cars in this class now. It's got speed adjusting cruise control with lane keep assist, so it keeps you centered in the lane. It speeds up and slows down according to the car in front of you. It's also got some really cool blind spot cameras and things, so when you indicate to overtake, it flashes up. If you're indicating right, it indicates on this side of the screen, gives you a little circular display showing you blind spot on this side. If you indicate left, it does the same on this part of the screen in this dial. So that's a really cool feature to have. And it also works when you're indicating around junctions and things, so again you get to see sort of what's in your blind spots. Visibility all around is really good. We've got quite slim, for this size of vehicle, A-pillars with little quarter-light windows as well, so you do actually get a really good visibility around the front of the car. And the mirrors are a good size as well. I personally wouldn't go for the camera option for mirrors. I don't find them particularly useful. The camera ends up putting the screen quite close to you and it's difficult to gauge distances. I prefer traditional mirrors, although if you do choose the camera mirror option, which is £1,000 optional extra, so think carefully about it, it does actually make it slightly more aero efficient. It saves 0.01 on the drag coefficient, which is probably worth about a mile in the real world, if that. So the Hyundai IONIQ 9 builds on the 800 volt platform that we've seen for charging on both the IONIQ 5, Kia EV9, Kia EV6. Now, 800 volt charging means that if you connect to a 350 kilowatt charger, it can accept a higher charge rate than a car which only has a 400 volt architecture. The trouble is though that the 800 volt charging is applicable to anything from 600 volts up to about 950 volts. And the battery size of the battery of this is at 675 volts nominal capacity, which basically means that it can only get to 233 kilowatts charge rate. Having said that, it still does charge up from 10 to 80% in around 22 minutes, which is fast enough for a lot of people. In terms of driving efficiency, we're seeing around 2.9 to 3 miles per kilowatt hour at the moment, which means that we're going to see around sort of 300 to 330 miles range in the real world. To give you an idea, since we charged, we've done 67 miles. It says we've averaged 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and it's showing there's a remaining charge of 290 miles, which I suppose would be about 350 miles total. And that's from a claimed range on this particular model of around 375 miles. But we've got climate control set to 21 degrees. It's been damp today, and we're currently on the motorway. So overall, just real world driving, probably 300 to 350 miles. That's realistic. Let's face it, if you're in the market for a 7-seat EV, you're looking at probably the Kia EV9, the Volvo EX90, or this, the Hyundai IONIQ 9. Well, price-wise, this starts from $64,995, which is slightly cheaper than the Kia EV9 and massively cheaper than the Volvo, which starts around £83,000. If you go for the ultimate specification, which this is, which is a little bit more power, then you're looking at sort of £73,500 for that car. If you go for the top of the range calligraphy version, then you're looking at £75,800, which is not an inconsiderable amount of money, but it is significantly cheaper than the Volvo EX90. I think this feels premium, just as premium as the Volvo, and if you go for the top of the range Volvo, you're looking at almost £100,000, so a massive saving by going for the Hyundai. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please click the like button and let us know in the comments below what you think about the Hyundai IONIQ 9. Do you think it's too big for you, or is it just the right size for you and your extended family? If you click up here, you can subscribe to our channel and you'll be able to see our latest videos as they go live. If you click up here, you can see more information about the Hyundai IONIQ 9 on the Chorley Group website. If you click down here, you can see the video review we did of the Kia EV9. And if you click down here, you can see the video review of the Hyundai Santa Fe, which is available as both a hybrid and plug-in hybrid.